Okay, in the last video, you learned how to use Buzzsprout to host your podcast. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use the Wix website editor to create a customized website to showcase your podcast. So I just want to show you what the end result may look like. So I use one of the Wix template, and I will show you how to use the Wix template to make it look nice and attractive to your viewers. So this one actually has some animation, so I will refresh the website and you see this text is animated. When you click on the listen button, it will direct you to the podcast, but I want to scroll down and then you'll see this is the latest episode with some description, image, and also we were able to embed our Buzzsprout player right here. And then here is if you publish it on other platform, then you can advertise in this section. And here's the about the show. And finally, here are the people that I copied and make it for more people. So that's why you see like the same images for the same person. And finally here you also can let people subscribe and contact you, and if they have any inquiries, so they can submit to you. Okay, so this is something we're gonna do it all together. So the first thing you need to do is sign up for a free Wix account, and Wix is a great website. It's very user-friendly, and it's free for creating almost, I think, unlimited projects. The only downside with a free plan is that there will be this banner that this is created with Wix, so it doesn't look very professional. So eventually, if you're ready to publish your podcast to the world, then you probably want to consider upgrading, and so you can remove the ads. And there are other benefits come with a paid plan, but this is definitely more than enough for our usage. So what you do is once you sign in your Wix, and then let me see, then so this is the editor phase. So you want to go back. Okay, I think I need to publish first and done. For some reason I can't get back, so I will just search Wix again. So you see that I will show all of your previous project, and this is the one that I just created. So we will do the same thing. You can also create a nice folder to organize everything, but this is not like a detailed tutorial on Wix. I will show you where you can get more tutorials on Wix, but this is just to show you how to customize a template to create a podcast like website very easily. So you can click on create new site, and then there are other categories here, but for our case I will choose other and then choose a template. So there are tons of different templates and they're all beautifully designed. If you search podcast, and then you'll be able to find some podcast templates available. Although I really like the first one, and you can click view to see how it turns out. So this is the website I use to modify and turn it into like a Song Exploder project demo. And then you see this is the original site. And there's the menu here where you can navigate to episodes or the about session. Here I can also click on listen and then direct me to all the episodes, and then you can also even search for the podcast, and once you click on each episode, and it will direct you to the player. So this is the template we're gonna use, and then once you determine that this is the template you like, and then you can click on edit this site. So it will take a moment for the site to load depending on the Wi-Fi speed. And now it will also show you like a quick video about how to use the Wix. So to save some time, you can just watch it yourself. So now we have this template. So all we need to do is just to modify this template. Even though I'm showing you how to modify a template, doesn't mean that you can't create one from scratch on your own or use other templates. So I definitely encourage you to try out different templates. And once you learn the basic here, you can definitely easily modify any other templates or create a new one from scratch. Okay, the website is organized into different strips. So each strip is, you can consider like a section of the web content. So you want to group like a similar things into each section. So for this one is like the cover photo maybe, or cover video for the podcast, and the title. And the second section is the latest episode, and the next one is where you can search for the podcast, and then the next is about the show, basically some description, and finally is the creators section and also the contact section. So that's how you can nicely organize everything. So the thing we want to do is first let's change the name of it, and I will still use the Song Exploder as the example. So I change it to the Song Exploder. So once you double click on the text, and then you'll be able to also edit the text. So if you click here, you see all the different settings. So this is the same as editing a Word document, so you probably know everything. And then you can choose different color and even preview it and see which one works well. I will talk about like a color palette for the website later, but definitely don't overuse the colors, and you want to make sure it has a nice color palette and so it feels like nicely designed. There are also other effects you can do to the text. So for example, I kind of like this one. I will put the effects, but don't overuse the effects too, by also making sure that the text is readable. And other things you can do highlight. For example, I can give it a white background. So now I kind of like this. So it just makes the text more readable. But you can certainly do it your way. So I will do it like so. So the next thing is you want to change this text to like a slogan for your podcast. And the Song Exploder has its slogan. It says, where musicians take apart their songs and piece by piece tell the story of how they were made. So I will just copy this, and let's go back to our, sorry, I have too many things open. I just want to close this. And this is the preview. So okay. So I will double click on the text and copy and paste this here, and now you find once I put it here, and this seems to be too crowded, and this line is not in the middle. So what I can do next is try to select everything and move it downward a little bit. So this is all about web design or graphic design, making sure the texts are breathable and things are lined. And also they have nice grid system. So when it's in the middle, you see everything is aligned with the purple line guidance there. Okay, so another thing is also you want to make sure the text has enough contrast to each other. So I felt like, so we will definitely change the background, and we'll see whether the text has enough contrast. So this is actually a video background. So if let's just preview it. If you see that this is a video background, it's actually moving video. So you can definitely do that, and I can go back and then change. So when you double click on each component, then usually it allows you to change the design of it. So the first thing I want to do is change the video, because it's definitely not related to the music podcast. So I will just search maybe music from Wix, and I kind of like this one, the spinning record, and I felt like it works well for me, so I will just choose this one and add to page. So Wix already have tons of free videos or images that you can use, but you can also download files outside and then try to upload it. So if you want to do that, then when you click change video, and then you just upload your own media, and then you'll be able to use it. Okay, so let's preview it and see how it works. Great, but you see that I have this like image background, and it doesn't seem to be working with the style we have here. So I will go back to the editor, and it's always good to save your project as frequently as possible. And here it allows you to give it a name. So I will probably give it a name called Sound Exploder demo, something like that. And then if you have your own customized domain, that's great, and then you can connect it here. So because I already have a site called that, I will just give another number called demo1 and then save and continue. Okay, so like I said, that you probably want to save it as often as possible. So what I can do is, this is actually an image and originally designed with that video background, so I don't need it. So I just need to click on the delete key and then delete it. And this is the play button that I can also change the different style. Like this one, I don't think it works well, but maybe something like this will work well. And it seems like it's clustered with all the text. So one thing I can do is change the opacity to make it not as obvious and competing. But surely you see that this text is in gray color, so it's not great contrast with the background. So what I can do is go here and change the color of my text to maybe white. So this is definitely more clear. So these are the things you probably want to do as you modify your design. And here the listen box is too close, so I want to give it a room and move it down a little bit. Unfortunately, you won't be able to change the location, the play button, because it's bundled with the video box. However, when you are actually playing it, first it doesn't show this. It's only after the video is done, then you can click the button. So I don't think it actually, will compete with the text. So it's fine. And here, if you click on the listen box, then you can certainly change the text. And then you can also change the design and find whatever works for you. I'm kind of cool with this one, so I will just leave it there. And then for all the text or things, you can do an animation. So for example, if we go back to the song Explorer title, and when you click it, then you'll be able to, we use the fade in, and you can take a look how it works. And then I recommend not using like a very fancy, like this kind of PowerPoint style animation. It's just so distractive and not as elegant. It's the same when you're using PowerPoint. You probably have heard, don't overuse the animation. So it's the same for the website. You usually fade in are the best one to use. Okay, so this one you can change where to link to. So if you have a different pages or different sections of the page, then you can link to different places, or even like email account or phone number or whatever. So here it does work well with the episodes page, so I don't have to change it. Okay, so basically I changed the first section and pleased with it to move on. And the next thing is the latest episode. So I just need to give it some description. So the latest episode on Song Exploder when I recorded is this episode 179, Soccer Mommy, and there's some description that I copy here. So I will just put it over here, and it nicely adapted to the text that you have. And it's the same, you can change the font, everything, but I kind of like their font and the color, everything, so I will leave it as it is. The same that the listen box can be linked to whatever page, and then it also linked it to the episodes page, and I like that too. So the thing doesn't work is the image here. So I need to change that. So you see that within a strip, you can also have different columns to nicely organize your web content. And so you can also create your own columns and, increase the number of columns. But I like this style, so I will just click on this image box. So what I will do is change the column background. So you see that there are tons of background. These are the video ones. If you see the video sign here, I will just choose image one. Again, you can upload your own or find one from Wix. So you see they have a nice image on Instagram. So I just download the cover photo and paste it here. So you need to design your own. And then when I go to here, and then I can choose upload my media, upload from a computer, and I think it's in my desktop. I did a screenshot of it. So here, can put it over here, and it will take few seconds to upload. And it's a little bit big. Okay, once it's uploaded, I can select and then say change background. So now you see it turns into the background for the soccer mommy. Okay, so this is also image part of their original design that you can choose to change the column background. For example, I can do none, and you see that disappeared. But I kind of like this. I know that this doesn't work so well with this music podcast, so you probably want to change it later yourself if you're doing similar things. But I would just leave it as it is for now. And then here, the same thing, that the background doesn't work. So when you click here, you'll see change the strip background, and I will choose, I saw that on SongExploder that they use this kind of waves for their banner. So we'll do a similar thing. I will upload media. I find one just by Googling, and I find the image like so, and seems to be working more or less okay. So other than, what you can do is you can actually search from Wix. It's all free. And the Shutterstock, which unfortunately you have to pay for it, and you can see all the price. And the AppSplash is another one I highly recommend. It's all high resolution photos, nicely shot, and it's free. But the only thing is sometimes you can't find very clean backgrounds. But media from Wix also allows you to do search for illustrations, some patterns, and textures. So this is great. But I didn't find anyone I like here, so still I will I search online for free images and I find this one, and I will put it here. But you see that once I change it here and the text becomes unreadable, so what I will do is click here and edit text and change the color of it to something that more readable. So another thing you can do is first, maybe I will just change the background's opacity and make it less bright. And then once I did that, I can change the text to a darker color, like so. So it's a nice contrast with each other. Okay. Again, you can actually edit the text and then change it to, whichever platforms that you determine to publish your podcast. And then the next section is about the show. So this is a short description of your show, and the same that I have the show notes here, more like the show description of SongExploder, and I will copy and paste over here. So copy and paste. Okay, so now I have the show description. Again, I need to change the background, and I download their logo, so I just need to upload the logo and then put it over there. So maybe you want to design your own logo, so you can put right next to the About the Show section. Okay, again, this is the image that you can change, but I will just leave it as is. And then for the creator section, you see that in my previous preview, I have 2 more of these just in case, I don't know how many people are gonna work in a group, so you may have more people. And now, you can certainly edit the text, change the image, do everything. But if you wanna copy and paste for more people, all you need to do is click on one and then hold down Shift. And then you see this group elements. Once I grouped everything, I can do Command C, or if you're using Windows, you can do Control C and Command V, and then put it wherever you want. Basically, making sure it's all aligned and have a more or less same distance as the last one. So same here. Hold down Shift and then click everything, group element, and then Command C or Control C and Command V to copy and paste. Okay, so now I have 4 people in the creator section. So it depends on how many people you have in your team. And this is more information for more people. If you don't need them, you can select everything and delete the whole script. Just click delete, and then you'll be able to delete everything. And then it will automatically move up the next section. So for the contact us, these are all the things you can decide whether I want to leave it there or not. But basically, this is already predefined element that all you need to do is maybe to modify it if you like. But I think for your project, you probably don't need it. But this is something you can choose to have it or not. And then for contact us, then the same, you can modify and you can set your social links, change the picture and change the link of it to link to your own social account. And this is a Wix form that you can also customize, and then so people can contact you directly on the website. Okay, so this is the first page, and we just finished that. There's also this social network, like a bar thing that you can customize to different themes, customize the design, so you can choose whether you want it or not. And you see that here I have an anchor added. So if you want to navigate to any section on the web page, then you need to create this anchor. So you can go to add, and you can go to the menu section, and then anchors. This is where you can choose different anchors and the navigation bars. And for here we have this home, about, and the gallery available. So that's why I preview it, when I click on my navigation and when I click about, you see that it goes straight to the about section. So that's how the anchor works. So you can do that yourself, and then you can also change what's the anchor's name, and there's a guide on teaching you how to use anchor, so I won't talk too much here. Okay, so now we finished the first page. All we need to do is go to the next one, is episodes. So here you will display all the episodes, and this is where the Wix podcast component can be very helpful. The first thing we want to do is still change the name of the podcast to Songsploder. And again, you can do a customization, and here is the podcast component that we want to change. When you click on setting, you see that it allows you to connect to your own RSS feed and then be able to update here. So once we host here, and then when we will have our directories, RSS feed, all I need to do is copy this and go back to my site editor and then insert my RSS feed here and then click connect. In a second, you see this is already updated to my podcast. So this is wonderful. You don't have to do anything yourself. And that's why RSS feed is great, because it allows you to easily distribute to other platforms or even website. Okay, so now when you have this ready, I know another thing you can do is you can go to the episode page and see what the layout look like. And you see once you click on each of the episode, this is the page it will direct to. And I have my show notes already here, transcript here, so you don't have to do anything. Once you host it nicely on the Buzzsprout, then everything will just be updated here automatically. So there are also designs you can do. So if we go back to the main page, then you can change the heading and the different paragraphs. And you can also choose the layout. If you like the grid kind of layout, you can do so. Many podcast websites have that too. And then you can also decide whether I want to show the date of the podcast, the duration of it, description. So you can customize, control everything. And then it also gives the latest episode a label. If you don't want to do that, you can turn it off. So you can play around and see what's the layout that you like. I kind of like the original layout, so I will change it back to this one instead. Okay. So yeah, so we're almost finished. There's also this thing we can change to, maybe I would just call it a music podcast instead. And then we still want to save it. Once you ready, and then you can go click on publish. So once you publish, then you can view your site via this website. And you see, oh, everything loads out nicely. And then if I click on listen, I'll be able to go to my episode page. But let me go back so I can see the rest of the content page. So there are definitely some animation to the text, and find the episode on different platform, about the show, and then the creators. And here is how to contact you. Okay, so I can do some fine-tuning if I like. For example, this background and also the contact us background, we can all change it to something else. So I can just show you how to use their like a library. I want to use the Unsplash library this time to search like a record. I think I used the Wix website. Record, not recorder, but record. So yeah, so then I think this one I really like, so I just changed the background to this. I think this works better with the theme. So I can go back to home. And another thing you want to do is, like I said, the color palette. And you can also think about your logos, and usually use your logos as the inspiration for color palette, because you see that this is the red they use. So maybe I should change the color of this red to match with this one to make it more coherent. So what you can do is there are a lot of Chrome extensions you can download. This is called ColorZilla. It allows you to pick colors easily. So I want to click on pick color from page, and then I can choose this one, and then I got this number that, let me go back and copy it. Okay, and then I can go back to the edit text and then create my own color. And then I just need to put the number here, and it got this one. But I think this one is not correct. I think when I pick the color, there's some issue. Okay, so now this should be right. Let me just do it again. Copy to Blackboard, this one, edit text, go to color, create my new. Okay. For some reason the color was not copy correctly. Let me see. Okay, so now this red is more like this red. So it's more cohesive in this way. So you can decide what will be the color theme for your website. But if you go to the edit text, when you go to color, you can actually, this is the like site color, but you can change it to different color palette. But this one will affect the whole entire site. So you want to determine whether you want to, change it to something else or not. So this is the color palette you can use as a guidance for your own project. So take advantage of it. Okay, one more thing I want to talk about is, so you just use a Wix podcast component to link all your episodes. But what if you want to have your podcast, maybe the latest episode, you can directly play over here so people don't have to click the listen button again and direct to another page. This is about user experience. So usually it's a good idea to put some of the podcasts on the homepage so people can listen to it immediately. So let's see how we can do that. So there are a lot of things you can add to the Wix site. And then, so one thing, for example, different text, images, shapes, so you can explore it on your own. But one thing I want to do is I can go to the music section, and you see that there are different, like even SoundCloud player if you put it over there. But what we want to do is actually, sorry, I'm wrong. So we want to move on not to the music section, but to the more section. So we can add a HTML iframe, and this will upload the code of the player that we created on Buzzsprout and then put it over here. So we can click enter code and copy the player's HTML code. So if you don't know anything about programming, don't worry. All you need to do is come here, copy an embed code, and then go back here and paste your code. And make sure you choose code and apply. So now you see my player actually showed up here, and then I can make it a larger or smaller. So maybe what I would do is make these up here a little bit so I have more room for my player, and then make it more or less aligned. And then if I want, I can make it smaller, but I actually want people to see everything. And there's also a scroll bar which allows you to scroll to the next episode. So this is if you want to embed the Buzzsprout episode here directly, or if you upload it to somewhere else, you see that you can embed like a SoundCloud player or something similar and right on your homepage. Okay, so let's save and done. We're gonna publish it and view site. Here you go. So this is how you create a nice layout website. And then you can use the navigation bar to the episode page. And then I can click on the episode and voila, you have all the show notes ready here to play. And finally, I will put these articles down there so you can take a look at some of the basic principles of web design. And then you can also take a look at this article, how to design a great website for your podcast, talking about what things should be included inside each section. And then there are also some great examples of podcast website that you can take a look, and hopefully you can get inspired. Okay, so this is how you can create a customized website to share your podcast with the world.